You'd think the fourth commandment would be an easy commandment to keep. But in our always-on-the-go culture, keeping Sabbath equates in some people's minds to laziness. But is it lazy to keep a commandment to rest? Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas. And this is your daily devotional for Friday, November 22nd, 2024. The fourth commandment is one of two commandments that prod us to do something rather than to refrain from something. It is a do this commandment rather than a don't do that commandment. That makes it a much more specific directive than most of the other commandments. For it is one thing to refrain from doing some things, but quite another to actively do something specific. Here's how Exodus records the commandment. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you, your son or your daughter, your male or female slave, your livestock, or the alien resident in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, but rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and consecrated it. Now, what is a Sabbath, and what does it mean to keep it? The basic idea of Sabbath is rest. Keeping it holy is to keep it set apart from the rest of the days of the week. The very idea behind this commandment is that God is aware that we are mortal and that we need to rest from our labors. It is God's grace embedded in law. There was a time, especially in the South, when Sunday was universally observed as a day of rest. So-called blue laws, some of which are still in effect, prohibited many activities on Sundays, including liquor sales, many retail sales, and many forms of entertainment. Some will still remember the days when Sundays were quiet, mostly filled with newspaper reading. In our increasingly secularized world, there's been an enormous move to repeal most blue laws, often on the grounds that they are an unconstitutional encroachment of the church on the state. But go back to first principles, and the idea of blue laws still makes a lot of sense: to provide laborers with a regular day of rest. Because the truth of the matter is this: we human beings were not built to labor nonstop. We require daily rest in the form of sleep, and we really do require a regular day in the week to put our labors aside and rest our weary bones. But do we do it? I'm doubtful. Oh, we may do other things besides our daily work, but many of us simply swap out one form of labor for another, never really giving ourselves the rest we need. Earlier this week, I saw a news item on one of the news feeds I get online every day, and it was about a man who posted a video message on TikTok, I think. He was belittling younger workers for working only 40 hours a week. He bragged that he routinely works 60 to 80 hours per week. He holds down 2 regular jobs, then regularly picks up seasonal temporary work to increase his income. It struck me that his video is a perfect illustration of the fact that part of what drives us to work more and ignore our rest is pride. We think working more makes us more important. But what it really shows is our sinful spiritual pride. Look, there is a reason that there is this commandment to rest, and that it made it into the 10 Commandments. We are mortal. We need rest. For heaven's sake, if God needed rest after the 6 days of creation, surely we can allow ourselves to rest 1 day a week. So go ahead. Give yourself and your family permission at least 1 day a week to put your feet up, take a load off, and let your tired mind and body get the rest they need. Tomorrow we'll make the transition to the last 6 commandments, those that deal with our relationships with one another. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.